So Steve Harvey really just dropped everything and fled from the country with his tail between his legs. Because listen, the streets are talking. And they're saying Steve pimped out his daughter Lori to Diddy as payment for some favors that Diddy granted him. Now, apparently Steve has been Diddy's henchman for a long time, helping him organize freak-offs and clean up after anything goes wrong. In exchange, Jai gives Steve the invitation to the most exclusive Hollywood clubs. However, when Steve felt like he was losing Diddy, he allegedly put his daughter Lori to work and basically offered her up to Diddy and their supposed freak-off footage of Diddy and Lori that even the feds don't have yet now, that Diddy is facing a very long time in prison. He's pulling out all the stops to get out, exposing every single person who ever contributed to his freak-offs. And Steve Harvey is now waiting around to find out if he's going down with Diddy's sinking ship. But does Diddy really have a footage of Lori Harvey? And what was Steve's role in all this? Let's break it down. So Diddy is kind of known at this point for catching them young, if you know what I mean. So it's not always surprising every time he pops up with a new girl or side piece that's decades younger than him. However, when pictures of Diddy and Lori Harvey started going viral, the internet was shook. And not just because of the age gap. What really had jaws dropping to the ground was the fact that Lori was Steve Harvey's daughter. I mean, of all people, you would think Steve Harvey would do everything he could to prevent his daughter from getting into certain circles, even though, well, she's an adult, and she can date whoever she likes. But Daddy, come on now. And what made it even creepier was the fact that shortly before she was spotted with Diddy, Lori had been rumored to be in a relationship with Diddy's son Justin, which made more sense because definitely they're closer in age. So for Diddy and Lori to just start going on dates and looking affectionate in public, yeah, something fishy was going on. The dating rumors first started sometime around July 2019 when they were squatted together in Mexico, followed up by a luxury trip to Italy. During this trip, the couple was spotted hanging out with Lori's parents, Steve and Marjorie, and Steve was up there smiling like he won the lottery or something. Even though they never confirmed the dating rumors, Lori and Diddy definitely look very much like a couple. Things got even spisher when Lori was later spotted rocking a large ring that looked like an engagement ring at a Sarek event. Rumors were floating around about Lori being engaged to Diddy. He might have popped the question during that family trip with Lori's family. However, Lori later denied these rumors in a post where she said, "I'm not engaged to stop believing everything y'all read on a blog." Well, fans were about to be fooled with that weak G comment. But I mean, because everything about Lori and Diddy's relationship was given romance. In fact, Lori was spotted wearing white nail polish during the trip that she took with Diddy together, which fans started to look and wonder if it had anything to do with the things Cassie said in her lawsuit. Cassie accused Diddy of making her wear white nail polish and Larry during freak-offs because Diddy liked to watch how the color contrasted with BBCs he used to hire for the encounters. And looking back, it's really odd that almost every woman he has even romantically linked to, even his mama, was spotted wearing white nail polish with him at some point. So yeah, it's give major red flags. And when asked about it, Diddy's son King Combs didn't really have much to say. He said they're good. They just be private time. That's up to them. It sounded like King was trying really hard to not spill something he wasn't supposed to, and he was trying to pick his words very carefully. But as much as he tried to keep things under wraps with Lori, words still got out that the relationship was much deeper than just family friendship. According to an insider, he and Lori had a fun fling, but he is still healing and focusing on himself right now. He is not ready to be in a long-term committed relationship and is focusing on his kids right now. As for Lori, here's what she had to say about the whole thing.
I got that. Now, so many things get written about you in the press, but I've always wanted to know, what is like the biggest misconception about who Lori Harvey is?
It's so funny because I'm so quiet. Yeah. There's been so many stories that have been made up about me. Like I've seen stories about me being like fully in love with somebody and we have like this whole relationship, and I'll see the guy and I'm like, I've actually never even met him before.
No.
Like full-blown stories I've heard. I've dated a father and son before.
Not true?
Absolutely not true. And I've even heard that I'm a lesbian at one point. So, you know, there's been a lot of different things.
You're
a lot of stories, a lot of misconceptions.
Does it entertain you?
oh, I think they're hilarious. I love the stories. They're very entertaining. I will give them that.
Yeah.
Very entertaining, but I just let it roll off my shoulder.
I love that.
However, it seems like all of it might have just been a cover-up, because word in the streets is that Diddy was using Lori for some very sinister things. Okay. So before we get into all of that, we need a little context as to what Diddy and Steve. Harvey's relationship really is like C. Diddy and Steve go as back as 2005 when they started running in the same Hollywood circles. During that time, Steve allowed Diddy to have access to his family and his kids, to the point where Steve's kids considered Diddy family friend, so that just added an extra layer of weirdness to the whole situation. I mean, imagine trying to get with the kids you basically watch grow up while you were already a whole adult. It's giving messy. Well, however, according to insiders, Steve allowed Diddy to have that kind of access because he was Diddy's henchman. We've seen Steve act like a fanboy around too many times to count, but it goes way deeper than that. Steve is allegedly one of the minions Diddy calls on when he needs someone to do his dirty work. In exchange, he allows Steve to have access to exclusive Hall Weird parties. Some people have speculated that Steve gave Diddy blessings to date Lori as a way of paying back debts he owed Diddy. What were these debts? For we don't know exactly, but Diddy is a very powerful name in the industry. And with everything we've heard about Diddy, you can take a wild guess at what Steve could possibly owe him. In fact, there are rumors that Diddy used Steve's freak-off footage to blackmail him into giving up his daughter Lori. It would explain why Steve tried as much as he possibly could to look like he was okay with the whole thing, even though there was really shouldn't have been anything funny about a man with Diddy's reputation romancing your younger daughter, Steve. Oh, but y'all, it gets darker. Apparently, the fact that Diddy was Steve's close family friend didn't make him treat Steve's daughter any better than he treated his other partners, and did he allegedly use to do the same horrific thing Get to Cassie Kim, Misa, and every other woman before her. Well, Diddy's asked Gina Hugh and spilled the tea about it when she exposed Diddy for putting hands on her and treating her horribly when they were together, according to Jana. She wasn't the only one Diddy treated like that, though she claimed that she saw Diddy do the same thing to Lori, and it was really bad.
He was in Miami, and it got really crazy that time. We was upstairs, and he had like, we were in his closet, and he like pushed me, and I fell to the ground, and then he like stood over me. So I was like laying on my back, and he stood over me, and he started like punching me like this. Like, he avoided my face, but he like started punching me like on the side of like my head, and I was just like covering my face. And he did that, and then after he got done doing that, he like, cause he was standing, his legs were like in between me, so he stomped on my stomach like really hard, and too much for me to handle. And it was just like Jordan, and then the Jocelyn girl, and then the cat girl, and then just recently Lori Harvey, Steve Harvey's stepdaughter. Yeah.
What did Steve really think would happen, though expecting a tiger to change his stripes is just an unmatched level of delusion. But then again, Steve has sort of been preparing his daughter for this moment for a long time. Despite not being his biological child, anybody anywhere can see that Lori is Steve's favorite. And it's not just online that he shows his favoritism. He doesn't hide it, even when it comes to his biological kids, who he almost completely ignored once he married Marjorie Harvey and adopted her kids. Lori once gushed about how much she enjoys Steve's attention and how she loves the fact that he always made time for them to have father-daughter bonding moments like having lunch together.